The famous Estadio Azteca in Mexico City has twice in its history hosted a World Cup final. For Mexico and Ecuador, they themselves are 4 victories away from advancing to a World Cup final themselves. Mexico, one of the co-hosts in this tournament, have been a perfect 3 for 3 to start their World Cup campaign. They're on a long and arduous draw with victories. They're on an unbeaten streak of now 13 games in a row. They have a lot of hope that they can make it to a World Cup final for the first time, but to do that, they have to win a knockout round game for the first time since 1986. Tonight's backdrop is the very famous Estadio Azteca for this round of 32 matchup, Mexico and Ecuador. What a tremendous matchup it should be. Mexico, the co-host, unbeaten and with all 3 wins in this tournament. And for Ecuador, a team that had to shock the world just to make it in to this knockout round. The knockout round that looks like this, already advancing to the round of the last 16. Canada, Morocco, Paraguay in their stunner. And earlier today, France. On the right side of the bracket, Brazil's come from behind victory over Japan yesterday. Now sees them match up with Norway after Erling Haaland's late winner earlier today for the Norwegians to defeat Côte d'Ivoire. Today, we'll find out who below Côte d'Ivoire and Norway on the bracket will advance. The winner will play either England or DR Congo, that match tomorrow at noon Eastern time. So what an atmosphere here in Mexico City tonight. Of course, the start delayed because of weather, but we are ready to go, and we're ready to go with these 2 lineups set by the coaches for Mexico and Ecuador. It is once again Raul Rangel that's in goal for Mexico. They seem to have found something with Rangel in goal. It's a back 4 with the fullbacks of Sanchez and Gallardo, flanking Montes and Vazquez, the center backs. The midfield with Lira, Mora, and Luis Romo, and then the 3 up front that have been so dangerous in this tournament with Julian Quinones on the wing along with Roberto Alvarado. And up the middle, it is the number 9, Raul Jimenez, who scored his first career World Cup goal in the opener here a couple of weeks ago against South Africa. For Ecuador, the lineup with Hernan Galindez in goal, Argentina-born goalkeeper, has made 8 saves on 10 shots on goal faced so far in this tournament. Back 4 includes Piero Hincapié, who plays in the Premier League with Arsenal. You also see Pacho, Ordonez, and Franco in the midfield. And Gulu, who scored the one of the goals against Germany in that game that they had to win and did. Moises Caicedo is extremely talented. 3 goals last year in the Premier League with Chelsea, along with Vite and Yeboah up front. You have Gonzalo Plata, who also scored a goal against Germany. His was the winner late. And Enter Valencia, who is the all-time leading goal scorer in Ecuador history. That's the 4-4-2 that Ecuador sends out with their Argentina-born goalkeeper, of course, anchoring this team, coached by an Argentina-born manager. With all of that, we say hello one and all. I'm Matthew Owens. Welcome to the Azteca. Thanks for having us in for this round of 32 match. We are so very excited for it, and there is expectations that have flown through the roof for Mexico, this nation that on this level, the World Cup level, they've been so consistent in the past of making the knockout round. But as I mentioned, they have not won a knockout round game since they defeated Bulgaria in the round of 16 in 1986 on home soil. But they've got 3 wins from 3 matches to start this World Cup. They take on an Ecuador team that pulled off quite the miracle to advance here. And we are underway as Mexico in their home green kick us off a little later than we expected tonight, but it's better late than never, and we're underway at the Azteca. Ball out of play on the far side off of a green shirt of Mexico. Ecuador will get possession for the first time with a throw, and it's launched immediately down from our right to our left. That is how Ecuador will attack in this first half. Ecuador in their yellow shirts with navy blue numbers, navy blue pants, and yellow socks. Mexico is in their familiar green shirts, white numbers, white nameplates, along with white shorts and red socks. It is very humid here tonight, humid enough to create heavy rain and thunderstorms that did include lightning. That's what, of course, delayed us getting started here tonight. Temperature, though, has dropped quite a bit, but the humidity is still heavy. A minute gone here, and Mexico in possession in the back with Luis Romo, who scored the only goal in their 1-0 victory of their middle group game against South Korea. Sends a long ball up the middle that is controlled by the Ecuadorians, and a foul in the midfield as Gonzalo Plata was taken down by Mexico's Roberto Alvarado. Javier Aguirre is the coach for Mexico, of course, at age 67. This is where he's from, Mexico City. He was the manager of this national team for about 14 months, spanning from April 2009 to June 2010, and was renamed manager in July of 2024, and he has done a great job getting this team prepared for this oh-so-important home soil World Cup. Ecuador with the ball to our right, sent back to the goalkeeper, Hernan Galindez, from Rosario, Argentina, same hometown as Lionel Messi, sends it long up the left-hand side. It was in the direction of Nilson Angulo. Goes out of play on the near side. It'll be a throw-in for Mexico. And the Mexicans will restart, attacking from our left to our right. What a tremendous run they had through the group. As I mentioned, 3 wins from 3 games, and did not allow a goal in any of them. 2-0 victory over South Africa in the opener, where they could have scored even more, as Alvarado trots his way right up the middle across the center circle, flares it out to his left for Jesus Gallardo, and then he'll turn it back to the halfway line. After that, the 1-0 victory, hard fought over South Korea. They ran away from Czechia in their group finale 3-0. Ball nearly got away on the near side from Jorge Sanchez, who is able to slide to the turf to grab it, and now up the right-hand side is Gilberto Mora from the right of the penalty area, cuts to his left, feeds it to Alvarado, edge of the penalty area, right of the D on his left foot, takes a strike at goal. It's blocked, and Ecuador comes away with possession. Oh, and it's taken right away by Gilberto Mora. Nice robbery from him. And Mexico back in possession. Out wide on the left-hand side is Julian Quinones, who scored the opening goal of this World Cup inside the first 10 minutes here in this stadium against South Africa. What a season he had in the Saudi Pro League at Al Qadsiya, where he led the league in goal scoring. Ball trickled to the right-hand side. Mora slides it in towards the end line. A cross back by Lira. Misses every one that he was targeting from there behind, but Jesus Gallardo is able to get back to it, play it back towards the middle of the field, and a restart for Mexico attacking to our right. Sanchez rolls it up the right-hand side. Mora in this near flank, cuts to the top right corner of the penalty area, hands it off, gets it on a one-touch return, cuts it back to the top of the 6-yard box. Ecuador's there to defend it away. Safely up the near touchline and back into Mexican territory, where a foul is committed in the chase down for the ball by Enter Valencia, taking down Eric Lira. If Ecuador is going to have success tonight, you're going to hear that name a lot, Enter Valencia, that along with Gonzalo Plata, who scored that winning goal late against Germany that gave Ecuador life and gave them a spot in the knockout round of the World Cup for just the second time in their history. Mexico moving up this near flank one more time. Jorge Sanchez squares the ball to the edge of the D, where a shot is taken and curled over the top of the crossbar by Mora, who is very active here early on, and it was a great cutback by Sanchez to give Mora the opportunity from about 20 yards away, right of center edge of the D. Trying to curl it up top and sent it just over the crossbar, but this is a very positive start for Mexico. The long ball off the goal kick by Galindez, easily handled by Johan Vazquez in the back for Mexico, who are back in possession. Roberto Alvarado rolls the ball up the middle, and another long-range shot is taken. This is from about 25 yards out, and it's off target as well. as that attempt comes flying off the right boot of Luis Romo. And that was high and wide to the right. But Mexico are in the mood early here. They are flowing with early confidence. You would expect them to have more of possession here tonight, although we saw yesterday that is not always the path to success. Germany had the ball for more than 70% of the game against Paraguay before losing in penalties for the first time in their history. Long again from Galindez, and again Mexico's taking it away in the middle of the field. From the halfway line of the near side, Mora with a through ball, goes to the right of the penalty area. Romo throws it across on a back feed, and it's headed wide by Raul Jimenez, who had a great opportunity as Romo, with great depth on the cross, sent it to the back post. What an opportunity for Jimenez. And he's hit that diving header just wide, but that's a great ball by Romo. And it's right on target. The cross is Romo just heads it wide, or Jimenez rather just heads it wide. In his 4th World Cup, Jimenez scored his first ever World Cup goal in the opener, as I mentioned, against South Africa. Once again, Mexico has one possession. Long ball by Ecuador does not connect, goes out of play off the head of Angulo. And of course, you hear us so much over the past couple of weeks about warning teams about the danger of playing from the back. Now here I am talking out of both sides of my mouth. Perhaps Ecuador should play out of the back a little bit more, because the long ball is being sent by Galindez. They're not getting possession of. Mexico is. And off their goal kick, Mexico, they build from the back a bit before sending it up the middle. Raul Jimenez tries to nod it to the far side in the direction of Jesus Gallardo. It's dealt with and sent out of play by an Ecuadorian defender. And Mexico with a throw, but they've taken it very quickly, too quickly for their own good, as Raul Jimenez was not expecting it to come his way the way it did and as quickly as it did. And it's gone off his left foot and out of play. It'll be an Ecuador throw. Alan Franco will throw in for Ecuador, who would like to just hold on to the ball for a little bit, but they haven't, because the throw-in for John Yeboah is quickly taken away by Johan Vazquez. So Mexico will reload here as 8 minutes are on the clock, and it's been all Mexico so far with possession and with the chances. As mentioned, Ecuador in the knockout stage for just the 2nd time in their history. This is only their 5th time qualifying for the World Cup finals, as up the right-hand side comes Mora, and he has it dispossessed right off his boot. Good defending work there done by Willian Pacho, who banks it out of play off of Mora on the near side. It'll be an Ecuador throw. They made the round of 16 in 2006, and that is it. They have not won a knockout round game. Piero Incapio throws in for Ecuador. Long throw that's lifted up the near side, headed out of play. Right between the two coaches at the halfway line. It'll be another Ecuador throw. Incapio hoisting it up again off of a Mexican head. It deflects back on the near side. Ecuador with some possession here. Moises Caicedo sends it all the way back to the goalkeeper, Hernan Galindez, the 39-year-old goalkeeper. Mentioned he was born in Argentina. He plays domestically in Argentina. In his 2nd World Cup, Ecuador was in the World Cup 4 years ago in Qatar, and actually played Qatar in the opening match, which they won 2-0. Gonzalo Plata up this right-hand side, hobbling a bit as he zigzags from left to right. Now gives it up out wide on the right-hand side as we work the 10th minute. Some pressure from Mexico's Julian Quinones forces Joel Ordonez back for Ecuador. Sent up the far side. It's available. Pinballs around on the touchline, and it comes back for Ordonez again. He'll flip it out towards the middle of the field. It deflects off of a Mexican foot, and Ecuador comes up with it. It's sent all the way across this way towards Pedro Vite. Vite, formerly of Major League Soccer's Vancouver Whitecaps, now plays domestically in Mexico with Pumas. And Ecuador with some possession, which they haven't enjoyed much of. And here's Vite sending it long up the left-hand side, getting on the end of it. And Capier flings across in towards the 6-yard box. Montez with a defensive header away. Deflects out to Angulo, top left corner of the penalty area. This is more like it for Ecuador. Square ball for Caicedo. Flared out to his right. Franco will roll it on the far right touchline, then get it back. Franco right of the penalty area. His cross dealt with by Roberto Alvarado of Mexico, and the Mexicans try to get possession, and they do. Flicked forward by Mora, taken by Quinones. He rampages his way into the Ecuador half, hits the brakes in the center circle, gets challenged by Yaboa, who took the ball away, but a foul is called. That's much better from Ecuador. Perhaps they have settled in here. So Ecuador actually called that foul against Mexico. That's interesting. So Ecuador get a free kick and have possession. And in the Ecuador half to our right is where they hold the ball with Vite, sending it up the left-hand side. Vite to the halfway line for Angulo. Angulo pitches one in towards the middle. It deflected up off the foot of Mora. Comes down to the right channel for Lira, and Lira's off and running with it for Mexico from the right of the penalty area. Ecuadorians surround him. Ball was stripped away on the near side by Angulo. It's out of play. It'll be a Mexico throw. By the way, we have a comment. This is a nice comment. I also like the handle name. I wish I was a little bit taller. I like the handle name. A very nice comment, though. This creator's ability to call basically any sport with credibility is a gift. Huge fan. And we appreciate that. We appreciate your fandom. Jorge Sanchez in his second World Cup will toss in on the throw from the right of the penalty area. Gets it in where it was intended to be hooked back to him, but it goes over his head and out of play. And are they saying that it went off of an Ecuadorian? Surely they're not saying that. I didn't see it go off of a yellow shirt. No, it is a goal kick. Very good. So the goal kick, Galindez will thump it long up the middle. He was hoping for Angulo, who was making a run up the middle, but it bounces over his head and into the arms of Rangel. Of course, talking about all these Mexico players, so many of them in their second World Cup. So for those players, they were on the squad 4 years ago that was a part of the mega disappointment. Mexico going out in the group stages. Here they are moving forward with Quinones up the middle, lays it off to his right. It's Roberto Alvarado on his right foot with a shot at the edge of the penalty area that was blocked off of Pachon, and it deflects out of play over the end line. It will be a Mexico corner. Pachon was well positioned there. Not sure he knew much about it, but he was well positioned to block that shot. It went off the side of his right boot on a shot by Alvarado that was surely heading goalwards had it not been for the intervention by Pachon. So it'll be a corner for Mexico. First corner of the match. It'll come in the 15th minute. Worth mentioning, there will be no hydration breaks tonight in this match because of the delayed start. From the far flag, corner's taken short, left of the penalty area, Alvarado, and we've got a whistle to stop play. And it looks like the referee in the penalty area was not ready for them to take the corner, so they'll try this again. Mexico frustrated because already Ecuador knows what they were planning on doing, and now Alvarado's not over there to receive it short, so they have changed up their strategy here, as from the far flag, it's played in very short towards the near post, defended away easily by the Ecuadorians. Now beyond the D, it's Jorge Sanchez, drifting out to his right, directing it that way. Cesar Montes from the touchline will play in a cross beyond the back post. It deflects to the left of the penalty area, where from a sharp angle a shot is taken, and missing the net wide is Mora. Mention how active he's been early, Mora. Came to him off the defensive header from Incapio and shot it from a very sharp angle, just inside the penalty area from the left. He hasn't missed it by a million miles, though, as the Ecuadorian goalkeeper did go flailing out to his right. Has gone wide, and Galindez will have a goal kick. Still rain spitting out just a little bit here as Galindez sends it long up the middle of the field from our right to our left. The defensive header by Montez. It popcorns around here. Middle of the field, a flick on by a Mexican head, then another by an Ecuadorian head. Now it's hoisted high into the sky. It may never come down. Eventually it will because of gravity. And finally, Mexico has recorded possession on the near touchline. Roberto Alvarado stashes one into the middle. Eric Lira will flex it all the way across the field from our right to our left, aerially over the head of Quinones. It's out for an Ecuador throw. Slavko Vincic of Slovenia is our match referee, 46-year-old that was born in the old Yugoslavia. He's been a FIFA referee since 2010. Ecuador with a throw. Holding the ball over his head on the far side and tossing it in is the Ecuadorian number 21, Alan Franco, and it deflects off of a couple of Mexican boots, last being Mora. Out of play, it'll be another Ecuador throw. As I mentioned, Mexico has not given up a goal so far in this tournament. First time that they kept 3 clean sheets to start a World Cup since 1970. That just so happened to be another one here in Mexico. Is off the throw, and it comes to Gonzalo Plata. Tiptoes his way up the right touchline, finds some space, then diagonals it across on the ground from right to left, in towards the attacking third and Capio. Square ball to the edge of the D, where John Yeboah works his way through traffic and takes a shot left-footed, and it's offside netting. And what an opportunity there for John Yeboah of Ecuador, who made a lovely move to get around Cesar Montes. Shoulders him off, and with a left-footed shot, may have even got the outside of the, just grazed the outside of the left post to the right of Rangel, and then offside netting. What an opportunity for Yeboah, who scored his 3rd career international goal in a friendly this past March against Morocco, who, of course, last night moved on to the round of the last 16. We congratulate the rockin' Moroccans with their thrilling victory over Netherlands. Here's Mexico playing out of the back with Rangel. There was pressure coming from Inter Valencia. Now Mexico is playing out of the back a lot more than Ecuador. Up the left-hand side now, Johan Vazquez, and he has mispassed it on that far touchline behind Jesus Gallardo. Out of play, a sloppy turnover there by Mexico. Ecuador on the throw to the halfway line, far side right of the center circle. 19th minute we play here, as you see. Mexico 0 and Ecuador 0. Of course, we talk about how Mexico did not give up a goal in their 3 group matches as we get a foul in the middle of the field. Yeboah shoved down by Gallardo. Ecuador only gave up a couple of goals in group play. They lost 1-0 to Cote d'Ivoire. They drew with Curacao 0-0 and then got the victory over Germany 2-1. So they didn't do a lot of scoring. Only 2 goals. They only gave up 2 goals. Here is a long ball lifted up the left-hand side, and Gulo trying to get on the end of it from the left of the penalty area, and he would have done had it not been for the challenge from Jorge Sanchez. Ball is out of play. It'll be a throw for Ecuador. Good defending there by the fullback Sanchez. Good fullback play by the 28-year-old that plays professionally in Greece at PAOK. And Capier will throw in here. On the near side, steps into a floated throw. Left side of the penalty area. It missed his target, Plata. Hooked out of danger by the Mexican defense. It is held in play by a flying Jimenez. And we've got some angry Mexicans here. My goodness. Mexico players came out of the technical area, and apparently we have a foul going against Caicedo. You had Pacho going for the loose ball with Jimenez, and Jimenez ended up flying through the air. I thought he went flying on his own. Apparently he did not. And we'll have a free kick for Ecuador here. So Ecuador yielding a free kick. Mexico takes from the halfway line near side. In for Cesar Montes. Mexico had that great beginning where they were attacking from every which angle. Ecuador has stolen a little momentum from them here. Mexico just looking to tilt it back their direction as it's played back to Rangel, the goalkeeper. And now ahead for Eric Lira. Back to his left for Vasquez. Patiently building from the back here is up the far touchline. Quinones gives it up, then goes on a run up that left channel, and he's going to have a chance to run down a long ball sent to him by Alvarado. Here's Quinones in a bunch of space into the area from the left, hits the brakes, gets to his right foot with a shot, and he scored brilliantly for the host nation. Mexico are out in front. Julian Quinones sends all of Mexico City into a party. It was a terrific give and go between he and Alvarado. And Quinones took off, making a triumphant run up that far left channel, ran down the perfectly weighted pass for Alvarado, took it into the penalty area, very calm, very cool, very collected, and did just enough to finesse his way past the Ecuadorian defender, switching from left foot to right, and then he powers it past Galindez. And Julian Quinones puts Mexico ahead. Oh, he has thundered that in. Thundered in a goal on a night that's had lightning in Mexico City. The thunder no longer from the skies, the thunder from the adoring fans here at the Azteca. As Quinones has his third goal of this tournament, scored the very first goal of this World Cup against South Africa. He also scored against Czechia in that 3-0 victory. And as I said, the man that led the Saudi Pro League in goals last season with 33. And think what you will about the Saudi Pro League, but if you led that league in scoring, you did do something impressive because, of course, he was ahead of Ivan Toney, who was second. He was ahead of third-place Cristiano Ronaldo. He was ahead of all of them. Ecuador have restarted play and now forced to chase the game for a team that only scored twice in their first 3 group matches. Up the left-hand side, Angulo, lovely little flick of the ball to get it left of the penalty area, and then with the left foot is crossed it in. Luis Romo deals with it, sends it high into the sky, comes back down, it's up for grabs, sent back to Angulo. Left of the penalty area, squared it back to Pedro Vite, he'll reload. Sent across the top of the circle from Vite to Alan Franco. Franco up the right touchline, Sean Yaboa, who had that great chance earlier, left-footed shot that just grazed the outside of the post. Now back into the circle it comes. Ecuador trying to build forward here is right up the middle. This ball rolled out to the left, out wide for Angulo, but it's defended and intercepted by Alvarado, who skips away from 1, skips away from 2, left it for Romo, dropped it for Vasquez. And here comes Mexico in the midfield and finding space. Romo, and we've got a whistle. Oh, Romo's very upset, as I believe he's been called for a foul as he was charging forward. Wow, and apparently we are going to get a hydration break.
They have been reinstated for both halves.
Okay. Well, look at us changing the rules and then changing them back. So towards the end of the 25th minute, we get our first half hydration break on a humid night in Mexico City, where it's Mexico in front 1-0. Julian Quinones striking with his right boot, laces through the ball, and it's 1-0 Mexico. Electrifying start for one of our host nations, trying to win a knockout game in the World Cup. for the first time in a very long time. 40 years it's been since 1986 and their victory over Bulgaria. So Quiñones with his third of the tournament. Mexico is in front. And as you heard, our terrific producer JT is back with us. JT was worried that he would not be able to send out jokes during hydration break. So, all right. It is Chuckle Hut hour for you, JT. Take it away. Is he going to take it away? Perhaps not. So instead,
I could.
yeah.
I didn't realize that I muted myself in the Discord. Now, what would be really funny here is that if you put your camera on so we could see your reaction to this.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Indeed. Hello, Matthew Owens. Okay. Here we go. I will get it up on my Photos app. FIFA president Gianni Infantino has attended 25 World Cup matches across 16 different cities since June 11. This is a couple of days old, so out of date. It's fine. He has travelled more than 50,000 kilometres aboard his private jet. His travel since the start of the tournament is estimated to have generated the equivalent annual carbon footprint of 78 people. Seems like Taylor Swift has some competition.
Very good. Very good indeed. JT, ladies and gentlemen.
I saw the stats online, and then I saw the top comment, and I just had to combine the two.
That's our guy, JT. Tip your waiters and waitresses well as we are back underway. Out of the
I'm here all night.
break. Yes, he is. Here's Mexico sending a long ball sprayed up the left-hand side. Raul Jimenez trying to get to it, and my goodness, looked like he got tangled up with Joel Ordonez and then was tripping for quarter of a mile before he finally went down.
I love how we lost a viewer after that.
Probably a Swiftie, which is really a shame. Because you know how many times she comes up on these broadcasts. Ecuador with a throw, which is knocked up into the air by Quiñones, drops back out near the far corner flag. And Ecuador will throw it again.
I have saved that one specifically because I knew that you would have liked that one.
Well, of course. Another throw-in coming for Franco. Plata flicked it on. Coming away with it, however, is Lira, and Mexico towards the final third here have lost it. Ecuador back in possession. Charging up the middle was, well, Plata, but he had it taken away, and Mexico's on the ball again, and there's bodies on the ground as Alvarado tried to hook it away from Valencia. He and Valencia both went down. Valencia got up very quickly. It was Alvarado who created the challenge that's gone down and stayed down. Oh, yeah, and he had his right foot stepped on by Valencia as he slid. He is back up to his feet, though. And they've called the foul on Valencia, which is a bit strange. As Mexico on the free kick have it again here. And here's Mexico up 1-0. And they are rolling and have been so far. Johan Vazquez sends it up the inside left channel for Mora. Out wide of the left-hand side for Gallardo. Return back into the middle of the field. Now into the center circle for Montes again. High-pressing Ecuadorians coming over. Ball dinked to Mora. Far left channel. Oh, he gets by Yaboa. And Mora touches this on from the left of the penalty area. Ball is crossed in towards the back post. Ecuador is there to defend it away. No green shirts there to control it. Elevated back out to the middle of the field. Montez heads it forward. Ecuador have really struggled just getting and keeping possession so far. Sanchez flips the ball forward. Well done by Jimenez to touch it ahead, but he lost it. Then it was thrown right back to him. And here's Jimenez giving it up to Quinones, left of the D, rolled back towards the penalty spot for a shot by Jimenez, and he scored! And it's 2-0 Mexico! Raul Jimenez has scored again! And Mexico have scored again! Just past the half-hour mark, and the co-host double their lead. A mega Mexican start. And it is a party inside the Azteca. This is dreamland for Mexico. Raul Jimenez has played all these games for the Mexican national team, has been to all of these World Cups. He had not scored at a World Cup prior to this one. Now he scored twice. The ball was given up right to him. And then Quinones unselfishly gave it right back. And Jimenez with a right-footed shot. He's torched it past Galindez. And the Mexican carnival continues. 2-0. And now for Ecuador, who in a must-win game against Germany did come from behind and turn that game around. As here comes Ecuador up the left-hand side with Angulo charging towards the penalty area. Montez gets in the way. And it's out of play for what will be a goal kick, and Ecuador disagree with that. And I beg your pardon, they did not have to come from behind against Germany, but they did have to score 2 goals to win that must-win game. Well, tonight, facing elimination, again, they're going to have to score 2, and that will be just to equalize. Goal kick for Rangel. The Jimenez goal, the 47th of his career for the national team, which is now just 5 behind Javier Hernandez, Chicharito, for the most in Mexican history. Ecuador have won the ball back here, and from the halfway line, and Capio sends a ball up the left-hand side. Enter Valencia trying to get on the end of it. He does. From the left of the penalty area towards the end line in tight. Left-footed cross blocked out of play by Montez, who's played really well in that fullback position so far tonight. It will be a corner this time as it went careening out of play off of Montez last. Corner for Ecuador. 34th minute here. And they really do need to get something going their way before halftime. They've had very little momentum in this first half. It's a Mexico team that's playing better, and they're playing with their full home support. As from the near flag, the corner here, and there's a couple of Mexican players that just tumbled to the ground. It's Moises Caicedo of Chelsea, who is looking to deliver this corner. As there's a full-on rugby match going on in the penalty area that led to bodies hitting the ground. There is talent on this Ecuador team.
WWE World Cup edition.
Indeed. There is good talent on this Ecuador team. There are names that you know from your favorite club football leagues, like Moises Caicedo, who's set to take this corner.
Who?
Left arm in the air. From the near flag, right-footed delivery. Good depth on it, and it's swatted out by the right hand of a lunging goalkeeper, Rangel. Comes out to the top of the circle in the Ecuador offensive end. Angulo now cranks a diagonal ball across from left to right. No yellow shirts getting on the end of that. It's gone out for a goal kick, and a lot of Mexicans wearing green and red rise up and applaud the defensive intensity of their squad. Of course, the knockout round of this World Cup has been just on another level as Rangel sends the ball long. And again, Mexico have won an aerial duel to get the ball back in the midfield. That's been the name of the game so far. As Sanchez up this right-hand side, we're going to have play stop. There's a Mexico player down. That looks like Alvarado. He's from the right of the center circle, lying on the ground. He was just slamming the ground with his right hand, outstretched palm. And he's holding what looks to be his right ankle. And perhaps did get stepped on as Angulo was flashing by. Mentioned some of the names on this Ecuador team that you do hear a lot in your club football weekends, like Moises Caicedo at Chelsea, Inter Valencia, who now plays here in Mexico at Pachuca. Also, you have Pervis Estepinian, that has not been on the field yet tonight, plays at AC Milan, and Capie plays at Arsenal. As Mexico restart playing from the halfway line, it is turned up the middle and deep, headed away by Pacho. Goes out of play on the far side. Mexico will have a throw in towards the final third here. Mexico in the FIFA rankings, ranked 14th. Ecuador is 10 spots below that at 24th. As Mexico all the way back to Rangel will take possession. And we'll start again. Again, you've got a Mexico team that's on this long spell, unbeaten spell. Ecuador's on a similar spell with very few losses, as Ecuador's taking it away here in the midfield, and charging forward up the inside right channel is Plata, who makes a good move from left to right to try to get rid of a Mexican defender, but Mexico's able to clear it away. Ecuador to restart just inside their own half. Here's Capie. Signed with Arsenal last September, started in the Champions League final just a handful of weeks ago, which Arsenal lost on penalties to PSG. Vite back up the left-hand side, and Angulo up this left touchline, has it, hits the brakes, cuts to his right, tries to sprint away from Jorge Sanchez, who's challenging defensively. Back to Caicedo, chopped down by the goal scorer Quinones, and it's a foul. Mentioning Ecuador and how well they've played of late, just one loss in their last 22 matches. The only, I guess, part of that perhaps is a bit misleading is that of those 22 matches with just one loss, they only have 9 wins in that stretch, 12 draws over the last 22. But again, Mexico on this terrific run of 14 straight unbeaten and outscoring their opponents in those 14 games 27-2. Free kick for Ecuador. Caicedo will flare it in. It's way too long for anyone, and it flies wide of goalkeeper Raul Rangel to his right, and that was not a good delivery from a player of much better skill than that in Caicedo. This is the 28th all-time meeting between Mexico and Ecuador, second at a World Cup. Mexico's won 15 of those prior 28. Ecuador's won only 4. 8 times it's ended with honors shared. So we play in the 39th minute. Ecuador win possession back in the middle of the field, but then give it up straight away to Montes. And here comes Mexico. Lovely little flick-on pass by Jimenez. Did not reach his target, Mora. And Ecuador back in possession. All the way back near their own penalty area to our right. Ecuador in yellow shirts, dark blue numbers, dark blue shorts. Switch ball diagonally forward from our left to our right. Controlled in the far channel. Yeboah created that chance earlier. Into the penalty area from the right. Gets to his left foot and takes a shot, and Rangel spoons it away. It's out of play for a corner. It's a good effort from Yeboah, who is frustrated at himself here, as Rangel is reached up with both palms over his right earlobe. And he just scraps it away. Corner coming. Caicedo from the near flag will deliver. He'll look for a better delivery than he had on the free kick just a moment ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ecuadorians in the penalty area, and 4 of them are inside the 6-yard box, where it's very crowded in front of Rangel. The delivery comes in right to the edge of that 6-yard box, and it's a defensive header away from Mexico. The clock strikes 40 minutes here. It's Mexico 2 and Ecuador 0. And Ecuador certainly are going to be in a position where they have to keep pushing harder and harder here as they face this 2-goal deficit. largest that they faced in the tournament. Here's Angulo up the left-hand side. Squares up Jorge Sanchez. Left of the penalty area. Goes from right foot to left. And on his left foot, drags it into the 6-yard box. It's defended away by Mexico again. Alvarado got a foot to it to knife it away. It'll be another corner for Ecuador. Second in the last minute. Angulo's making things happen up this left-hand side, though. Perhaps that's the side that they want to attack the most from. Caicedo from the near flag again on this corner. The last corner, as I said, there was about 8 or 9 bodies in the 6-yard box. Here's a delivery to the back post, punched away by Rangel. Ball goes all the way to the far touchline and out, escorted out by Yeboah. Be a throw. He'll take it quickly. Dying moments of this first half. All the way back to the halfway line, Alan Franco sends it out to the left. Caicedo this direction, and Capier on his left foot tries a cross that was blocked by the leaping Jorge Sanchez. Out on the near side for another throw. Angulo coming over to take. Signed just 4 months ago, almost 5 months ago now with Sunderland in England. Here comes the throw in from Ecuador. Got a lot of people bunching. Actually, they've given them a corner on that, so another corner. That Caicedo will lace towards the near post, and it goes off of an Ecuadorian head, and it goes way, way high and way, way wide. It was in Capier. Well, you do say about Ecuador, since falling behind 2-0, they have started to press the issue a bit more, create some opportunities, most notably that shot just a few moments ago from Yeboah, who's created 2 good opportunities. Yeboah putting one earlier off the outside of the post, and then this last one forcing Rangel into a save. Long ball up the middle from Rangel. That will go off a Mexican head and leak out of play for a goal kick now for Galindez. Match momentum graphic on the world feed. There's a lot more green than yellow, but there's a lot more yellow ever since Mexico went up 2-0. Long ball by Galindez. Defensive header by Sanchez. Back into the Ecuador half. Who comes up with it? It'll be Mexico. Alvarado. Lovely little header and just nudged the ball down to get it into his control. Then a backheel flick for Mora. And now it's turned back to Mora up this right touchline, right of the box. Mora with a cross in. It was menacing. And the header by Jimenez is flown high and off target. But that was nothing into something there for Mexico. And Mora with a really good ball in. It was on target. The header was not. Good defending as well by Joel Ordonez to bother Jimenez, trying to elevate high enough. So here comes Ecuador, playing out of the back for one of the few times tonight, and it's been stripped right away. Luis Romo stripped Moises Caicedo. Ball ends up out of play on the far side in the penultimate minute of the 45 here. Julian Quinones and Raul Jimenez have combined to put Mexico 2-0 up here. Off the Mexican throw, they put it all the way back to Rangel. 9 attempts at goal in this first half for Mexico. Only 2 have been on target, but they've put them both in. For Ecuador, 3 attempts at goal, 1 on target. 2 of those 3 attempts have been from Yeboah, 1 off the outside of the post and 1 that was on target. Here comes Mexico. Alvarado rolls it into the penalty area from the right. Jorge Sanchez cuts it back, edge of the box, and it was volleyed out of the air by Jimenez, and he put it straight into the ground, and it just caroms wide of Galindez to his left. As he didn't strike the volley clean, he scuffed it, but it hit the ground so sharply that it nearly got to Mora, who was almost in front of the net, screening as if he was playing hockey. He tried to reach out and head it in. Had he done so, it would have been called back for offside, but there we go, looking more like hockey there.
Matthew,
Yes?
I'm saying 3-minute hydration break plus 2 30-second goals. That makes it 4. Plus we had a couple of injuries, so add another minute. I'm going to say 5.
I would agree with that. We'll see if he's correct. The board goes up. He normally is correct. And in red numbers, in bright lights, it is a 5.
I
JT,
may be sleep deprived, but the mathematic still works.
JT rarely misses. Mexico win a throw middle of the field, and it's placed up
I
the right-hand
also
side.
rarely sleep.
Where Sanchez has lost it. And Ecuador back on the ball with Alan Franco. You know what he'll be doing next here in just a moment, JT? It'll be nearly, 4 a.m.? Good God. It'll be nearly 4 a.m., and we'll have to go to JT Waffles, which has been rare in this World Cup, but we do have to because a certain puppy is back awake.
Oh no. Anyway,
Loose ball in the middle to Quinones, and he's gotten fouled. 1 minute of the 5 has been played, and a yellow card in the hands of the Slovenian referee. Looks like he's just assigned it to Alan Franco. He has. Franco from Wuhan. And he did commit the foul on Quinones that toppled over the man that scored the first goal of the night. Franco in his second World Cup. Now 8 years with the Ecuador national team. And in those 8 years, he scored just 1 goal. It came some 7 years ago in a friendly against Trinidad and Tobago. As play restarts, ball is sent high into the heavens. Comes down off a header down from Angulo, and he directed it towards Inter Valencia. Mexican defenders do well to knock it out of play. Vasquez sliding to the ground to get it away from the dangerous Valencia. Ecuador with a throw back towards the halfway line, left of the circle in Capier, all the way across to the right. Ordonez sends it up the far side. Here's Yeboah, who's been terrific in this half, really the best of the Ecuadorians. He gets fouled, tripped up, and down he goes. And that's an easy call there. The foul on Jesus Gallardo. Free kick for Ecuador. Out wide on the right-hand side, 35, maybe even 40 yards away from goal, but it's so wide out to the right, it should provide Caicedo plenty of space to get good depth on this cross. We'll see if he can get a good delivery. Rain has slowed down. In fact, I think it's fully stopped. Caicedo arm in the air, right-footed strike, and that's a poor delivery from Caicedo. It's gone all the way beyond everyone in the penalty area. Ordonez at the back post could not reach it. It's been poor deliveries by Caicedo tonight. The man from Santo Domingo. Scored in the last World Cup, did Caicedo against Senegal in the group stage. Goal kick for Rangel. Sends it long. It drifts to the left. It's headed on by Romo. Will not drop to a green shirt, however. It'll go out over the end line to the right of Hernan Galindez's goal. Caicedo, before he was at Chelsea, where he's played over 100 times in the Premier League with Chelsea, played for Brighton and Hove Albion for 2 years. Ball is sent long up the far side. Vasquez, defensive header out by Mexico. I'm not sure how that's quite fair. You have to play 2 different teams. You have to play Brighton and Hove Albion, just like tomorrow the United States have to play Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's unbelievable. How are you supposed to win playing against 2 teams? Ecuador with a throw. Comes to Caicedo.
stop it.
Rolled into the circle for Nkapié, rampaging up the left-hand side, rolling it that direction up the near touchline. Angulo has space. Oh, lovely little play by Angulo to get a lot more space up this left-hand side, and Sanchez came flying in heroically. Slide tackles it out. It'll be a corner for Ecuador as we go towards the final 30 seconds or so of this first half. I don't have Caicedo over here to take this corner. They've seen enough of his deliveries tonight, it would seem. And it's Angulo by this near flag. It's set to take it. He's got 2 players over there to put it in short towards, if he chooses. One of them is Vite. The other is Yeboah. So Nilson Angulo, he will take it short. Nudge to Vite, return for Angulo. Now Vite, left of the area. Oh my goodness, he's played it all the way back towards the center circle. That gives the referee a chance to blow the halftime whistle if he wants to, and he does. See, he can't play around like that. that close to a halftime or full-time whistle. It's not smart from Ecuador. Not a smart way to win the half. We do reach halftime here at the Azteca. It's Mexico 2 and Ecuador 0. The big guns of Mexico both scoring. First Julian Quinones and then Raul Jimenez, the two that scored in the opening game of this World Cup that led them to a 2-0 win over South Africa, has led them to a 2-0 halftime lead on Ecuador, looking for their first victory in a knockout round game at the World Cup in 40 years. So halftime here, and Mexico soaring to a 2-0 lead, thanks to Quinones and Jimenez. We will hand it over to JT momentarily.
I've got nothing to waffle about.
Well, if you
However,
do choose, we could put up the bracket if you would like.
Before I've got all the coming up graphics. It's okay.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Before you go, Matthew.
Okay.
I thought that it was myself who does the tomfoolery and all of the shenanigans, Matthew.
Yeah, but it's almost 11 o'clock over here, so
we are well and truly into USN After Dark, aren't we? Some more shenanigans from myself. I thought you would have been on this world long enough, Matthew, to know that Valencia is in Spain, not in Ecuador.
Okay, very good.
Do not get me started about the small city of Valencia in Ecuador. I am aware of that. That just ruins the joke. Thank you. Goodbye, Matthew.
Good gracious.
Indeed. So, halftime here. Mexico 2, Ecuador 0. Or, as the Americans say, other than Matthew, who actually said it the right way today. Nexico 2, Ecuador nothing, or 0, or whatever you want to say. As nearing 4 a.m. over here in the UK. What am I doing with my life? Anyway, we will say goodbye to that graphic, and we will do these graphics. Round of 32 continues tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. England versus the Democratic Republic of Congo. Scheduled to be on the channel if all goes well. Then also tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, Belgium versus Senegal. And then at 8 p.m. the United States of America take on two teams. They take on Bosnia and they take on Herzegovina tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, Spain versus Austria. Argentina versus Cape Verde. The Cinderella go against the Giants Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then Colombia versus Ghana Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Then our first scheduled round of 16 World Cup game is Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the channel. Paraguay versus France. And then Brazil versus Norway Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, immediately followed by the Euro 400 from Chicagoland Speedway. The return of Chicagoland Speedway at NASCAR. For the NASCAR Cup Series, that is Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I've just realised something, so just gonna do some live editing real quick. There we go, look at that. The NASCAR logo had... Hold on. Wow. Live editing gone wrong. I changed the wrong one. There we go, look at that. Incredible scenes. That is what is coming up on the channel for the rest of this week. That is all of the fun graphics that I had prepared. It might have been a little bit smarter for me to go through them a little bit slower so that I didn't have to fill more time at the other side of it, but it is okay because I am apparently the king of waffle. If you're just joining us, there is confirmation of the halftime score here in Mexico City. Mexico lead Ecuador 2-0 at half time. This game delayed by an hour due to adverse weather in the vicinity of Mexico City. Moved from a 9 p.m. kickoff to a 10 p.m. kickoff local time. Matthew is still muted, which is the universal sign to say that he's not back yet. The Cookout Summer Shootout at Charlotte Motor Speedway has ended, so haven't got anything to waffle about that. The National Midget Championship event at IMS has also ended, so not got anything to waffle about that. Where did JJ Yaley finish?
Is that JJ Yaley?
19th he finished. Hello, Matthew. Welcome back.
JJ Yaley, the former Formula One world champion, of course.
Yep, of course. Gotta remember that one. So now that Matthew has returned, I don't have to waffle anymore. But then again, Matthew talks enough in the actual game time. So
yeah,
I guess I better.
Yeah, people probably think, yeah, he talks enough, as is the idiot.
Best I better steer the ship here, but I don't know what to steer the ship with. We could go Belgium chat, but then we're getting into dodgy subjects. For Matthew,
did you go through the upcoming graphics?
Yes, I did, and they've got a new look. Well, kind of.
Do they?
What I mean by that is now that we're into the knockout stages, it has what round of they are, and then the date, and then the time. So when we get up here,
as he flashes through them
round
quickly. Oh, indeed.
See? Round of 32, then it goes to round of 16, and then it goes to NASCAR.
So that's what I was going to bring up. Was NASCAR related, because we are going to Chicagoland this weekend. So here's my question for you, JT, because
no.
God knows I already feel old enough as is.
God only knows.
I always make myself, or something makes me feel old just about every day. So I'm going to do it to myself here, JT. Have you ever watched, as in live, a NASCAR race at Chicagoland?
When did they last race there?
19.
No.
Because you would have been 11, yes?
Yes, that was before. Well, it depends when in 2019,
yeah,
but yes.
I can't remember when.
That was before I started to watch NASCAR.
Wow. So never have you ever watched a NASCAR?
Never have I ever.
At Chicagoland, my gosh.
Yes.
Well, it'll be interesting to see.
However, I have seen the orange.
Now, yes, you brought up the orange a couple of nights ago at 2004 Busch Series qualifying. Now, here's a question for everyone. Everyone loves to bring up the orange on the track.
Definite thousands and thousands of people that are listening, yeah.
Everyone remembers the orange on the track. Do you remember, though, who was on the racetrack?
The 21st night of September?
Oh, jeez. Does anyone remember who was on the racetrack qualifying when that happened?
I, can I check if right? Can I check if the guy was competing in that year?
Sure.
Of course he was, because his first year was 2001. Got it. Yeah. For some reason, I have Kevin Harvick in my head.
No, it was not Kevin Harvick.
Okay. Was it a junior?
No.
Okay. I'm 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 out.
I was gonna say, if you get this, you've looked it up. that's that's all that could be said.
Is it
Todd.
like a really, really uncommon drive, like
Oh
really
yeah,
rare driver?
yeah. Todd Szegedy.
Who?
Todd Szegedy was the one that was qualifying when, when the orange came out on racetrack.
I think I said Kevin Harvick because they were talking about Kevin Harvick when it happened.
Well, of course, Kevin Harvick did win the first two Cup races at Chicago, 2001 and '02. But yes, Todd Szegedy of modified fame was the one that was on the racetrack. Ridgefield, Connecticut driver, Todd Szegedy.
Is that the 2004 version of High Point, North Carolina?
Qualifying for the 2004 Tropicana Twister 300. See, this is why you tune in to USN. Because you get these
We doubled our viewers when you started talking about
NASCAR. Did we really now?
from the grand
from
number
like,
of 3
I was going
to
to say
6.
from 1 to 2. We do have comments. Yes, say I think Denny will win Chicago. Also said I know, but I don't know his name. Yeah, Todd Szegedy was the one on the racetrack. Yes, former modified champion.
Never heard of him.
Oh goodness, yeah, that was before your time by like 4 years. Now, of course, everyone remembers that moment from qualifying, but the race itself, that 2004 Tropicana Twister 300, what a wild race that was. Like, the leader, multiple drivers, was leading and had an issue, including on the last lap, coming to take the white flag, Mike Wallace, who led 18 laps that day, if memory serves, in that Geico number 4, who had won the Busch race the previous week at Daytona, in a wild race that had multiple last lap lead changes. He won that race at Daytona. He was going for 2 in a row. He was leading coming to the white flag, ran out of fuel, and wouldn't you just know it, who was sitting there to take the victory was Justin Labonte, the son of Terry. Got his first career win at Chicago when Mike Wallace ran out of fuel on the last lap. It was incredible.
While we're talking about stuff falling onto the racetrack, I've got the NASCAR Oddities chart up on my screen right now, Matthew.
Do you?
Do you remember what fell onto the track during the 2004 Homestead Miami Speedway Busch Series race, which did not cause a caution?
No. What fell on the racetrack? In the Ford
Parts
300?
of a caution light.
Remember that happening at Fontana in a cup race like 09 or 10, somewhere around there. I can't say that I recall it in that 2004 Ford 300.
This is a peak addition to the NASCAR oddities chart. Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park 2005 truck race. Local fire department had to be called to wash mud off of the backstretch following a
Oh,
rainstorm.
I believe that. Had some times,
Uh,
and of course, you had some times at IRP as we're moments away from getting the second
ah,
half kicked off. Had some moments at IRP
2006.
where it would rain and you'd have mud everywhere, especially on that hill. Carry on.
2006 Daytona. Something else fell onto the
Beach ball.
racetrack. Yep, thank you.
Yeah, Pepsi 400, won
Yep.
by Tony Stewart.
Thank you for that one. Do not worry, Matthew. Graphics are being worked on. Just like that.
Hey, as we get the second half underway, Ecuador kick us off, and you see the halftime substitution made by Ecuador as Joel Ordonez comes out and is replaced by Angelo Preciado, and it's Ecuador with the ball to start this second half.
And there's also that one.
And Alan Franco coming off, replaced by Yaimar Medina as Ecuador from the right of the penalty area. Long cross and all the way across the field. Comes back to the far touchline. Angulo comes up with it. Angulo, top left corner of the penalty area on his right foot, tries to send a centered ball towards the inside left channel, and a backheel flick return for Angulo by Plata was intercepted. Angulo went down. Ecuador can't believe there wasn't a foul called. Mexico are forward here, and in some space, it's Quinones. Ecuadorian defenders arrive, forcing Quinones to slow his pace, but now he flips the ball out to the right-hand side of their space, and a left-footed curled shot has been missed wide by quite a margin from Roberto Alvarado.
I'm going to be that guy. You have teleported forward a lot.
Have I?
Where are you?
46-15.
Got it.
Alvarado with that miss in his second World Cup from Salamanca. He's played for 4 years domestically here in Mexico with Guadalajara. Made nearly 150 league appearances with that club. As here comes Ecuador up the far side, searching for answers. Here's Medina, one of the halftime substitutes, sends it long. It's too long for anyone in yellow. One hops into the arms of Rangel. And Mexico will play it out of the back here. Rangel up the middle for Lira. One touch pass out to his right. Montez flips it aerially up the middle, taken away by Medina, who then has it bounce off his foot and go out of play. So Mexico will win possession back. So it'll be a Mexico throw from the far side. Thrown in through a little bit of traffic here. It gets chopped away by the defense of Caicedo. Mexico recover. Send it long up the far side. Pinballs around. Off Caicedo. Off of Jimenez. Drops to Quinones. Top of the center circle. Quinones steers it out to his right. Played in towards the middle of the penalty area for Jimenez. Chopped away defensively by Ecuador. At the halfway line, it drops for Montez. Flushed it forward up the far side. And a foul committed by Medina as he knocked over Mora.
Like, what is happening with LeBron James? Because I'm seeing all of these NASCAR Chasm and NASCAR and IndyCar posts about him being a free agent. What have I missed?
So, as Lira
That did indeed fix it, by the way,
handles
Matthew.
the ball very good, thank you. Long ball set up the far side by Mexico. Ecuador's got possession back to Galindez. Yes, LeBron James will not be with the Lakers next year. That was announced today, reported today, that he will continue his career because, What we needed was more LeBron James, I guess, as Yeboah just got hit from behind and fouled in the middle of the field. Be a free kick for Ecuador, but he has informed the Lakers that he will be changing teams yet again in his career. He went from the Cavaliers to the Heat, back to the Cavaliers, then to the Lakers, and now he'll be going somewhere else. Most people believe that he'll be either going back to the Cavaliers because he just can't stay away from Cleveland, or he'll be teaming up with Steph Curry and Steve Kerr in Golden State. One or the other.
Okay, so basically, it's all the social media admins having a bit of fun.
Yes, and because
Got it.
with LeBron, he's famous to do this, and we'll see if there'll be another decision. Here's Yeboah up the inside right channel, cutting to his left past Quinones on his left foot, nudges it to the left of the D, handled by Nkapie. Back out wide on the right-hand side is Caicedo. Fakes right, zigzags left, goes back right again. Gives for Nkapie 5 minutes into the second half. Mexico pushed them back just a bit here, but it's Vite just inside the final third, forking it through a couple of defenders to Plata. Plata out wide on the right-hand side for Preciado, the substitute. Square ball back to the right of the D. Plata gives it up outside of the D for a long-ranged attempt, well high by Pedro Vite. I would imagine, JT, that you don't know what I'm talking about when I say The Decision by LeBron James. All you have to do is YouTube it, and you'll get what it actually was, and then you'll get plenty, and I do mean plenty, of spoofs that was made about the highly publicized decision. Mexico.
Okay, noted. All I will say is look out astronauts on the International Space Station after that last shot.
Mexico up the far side. Jorge Sanchez loses possession, but it does go out of play off of Nkapie, I believe. So Mexico will have a throw from the right of the penalty area. Thrown into Alvarado. Returned on the far touchline, handled by Sanchez. Sanchez pushed back defensively by Angulo. Now it's chipped towards the top of the box. Through some traffic. Twisting and turning with it was Mora. Lost it. Cleared away by Ecuador. Reload for the Mexicans. Long ball up the left-hand side, too far for Quinones. Out of play for a goal kick. Yes, just another off-season that we just had where we had an opportunity to be rid of one of, if not both, of Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James, and unfortunately they both
Are you
returned.
talking about the ESPN TV special?
Yes. Good God.
Okay.
Here's Ecuador coming up the right-hand side. Yeboah's got space in this channel. He's lunged it forward. He's found Valencia into the area from the right, and a shot that is way off target. It goes high. Question is, did it get deflected high by the charging in Mora? Well, it doesn't matter because the flag is up on the near side. He was offside anyway.
Gonna be honest, I cannot be bothered to read about that. Awesome. I have just opened up the Wikipedia page and it is like so long that I cannot be bothered to read it at what is 4:16 a.m.
I can tell you all you need to know from it. He decided to leave Cleveland because he did not feel like he could win a championship in Cleveland because he didn't think that the front office was doing enough.
Did they then win it the year after? Because if they did, then that would have been hilarious.
It would have been hilarious, but no, because honestly, he was playing on teams where it was him and then a bunch of scrubs. So he left Cleveland, and of course he was.
And you don't want no scrubs.
Well, indeed.
But
yeah. Because. Never mind. Here's Ecuador into the final third. And Caicedo for the far side got tripped up. Sanchez lets him get back up as they play advantage. Caicedo towards the top of the circle. Angles the ball to the right. Gonzalo Plates. Plata. Plates. You've got me all kinds of messed up now, JT, because of that. Ball thrown in on the near side by Preciado. Handled by Caicedo. Once more on this near side, Gonzalo Plata. In towards the middle of the field for Caicedo. In back towards Plata, then to the edge of the D. Oh, and it was handed back off for Yeboah, who went down. There's also a Mexican player down. Here comes Mexico up the far side. Mora flings it up the right channel for Alvarado. It's out of play, and Ecuador take a very quick throw in, but there's two players down at the other end, one for Ecuador, one for Mexico. One is Yeboah for Ecuador. I cannot tell who the Mexican is that's down, but there was heavy contact. Oh, it's Luis Romo along with John Yeboah. But yes, as I was mentioning, JT, he felt like he was playing with a bunch of scrubs in Cleveland, and as we know, a scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. And he decided to change teams, and then during the off season, he was sought after by all these huge teams, made a run at him, wanted him to join the team, and it just became so overly publicized, and yeah, and then it led to this ESPN special, like an hour on TV of them building it up, and where was he going to choose?
It ran 75 minutes with commercials. How do I know? I looked it up.
God bless. Here's Plata nudging a ball to the left of the penalty area, and Gulo. Plata then serves a ball in towards Valencia, towards the penalty spot. Vasquez defends it away for Mexico. 40 yards out from goal, it comes back to Caicedo. Looks to his right, looks to his left, scoops it on the far side, handled by Medina. Medina plays it out wide. Now an inward pass for Vite. Vite back for Medina, the halftime substitute. Medina creeps towards the top left corner of the penalty area. Gives it up, gets it back. Ecuador pressuring Mexico here. Now it's Moises Caicedo dragging it back to the top of the circle. Now they're going the wrong direction. Caicedo filters it up the right-hand side as they switch play with Yeboah. Quinones pushes him back. The return comes for Caicedo. Then back again for the number 9, Yeboah, who's created the two best opportunities for Ecuador in this match. Inside left channel now in Capio for Medina. And then a square ball back to Vite, who's now nearly 50 yards away from goal. Lays it out to his right. Moises Caicedo, hasn't been the best tonight. Hasn't been on his game, the Chelsea man. Caicedo back towards the top of the circle. Vite flares it left. In Capier of Arsenal. Far touchline. Angulo of Sunderland. Angulo looks for an inside pass. Gets it that way for Vite. It's a bunch of dribbling and a bunch of short passing of the ball, but nothing really with a lot of intent for Ecuador, who only has 3 attempts at goal tonight and only 1 that's been on target. As we reach the end of the 57th minute, it's back this way. 45 yards from goal, Caicedo. 50 yards from goal, he drops it to Vite. Vite angles it left away from the pressuring Mora. Now for Encapié, who serves the ball in towards no one. Defended away by Vasquez. Handled by Medina back outside the area. Forces it outside left for Angulo. Angulo then turns it back. Mexican supporters are applauding the defensive effort here, staying in their lanes, and now they force a takeaway. Mora on a robbery comes up the right-hand side. He's got bodies with him, but now tries to hit the brakes and turn his way around in Capier, who commits a foul. All of that for nothing from Ecuador.
It might be worth noting that I didn't explicitly look up the length of the decision. It was just on the Wikipedia page. I see that I've got some graphic work to do, so I better sort that out. Yay.
Yeah, and then of course after the decision, SportsCenter came on. They had reporters in like 5 different cities, and they were all.
That's all. Right. Was this a basketball player making a decision, or was this a general election with reporters in literally every single city?
Enter Valencia comes off. Ecuador's all-time leading goal scorer exits, replaced by Kevin Rodriguez, as Ecuador have given up the ball pretty quickly. Pretty cheaply at that. And now Johan Vasquez rolls it back to the goalkeeper, Raul Rangel. Yeah, they had reporters in all these different cities reporting on the disappointment from the cities that he didn't choose, and then in Miami, where it was reporting on basically a celebration, and in Cleveland, where they already knew he was leaving, basically, as got a foul committed by Mexico and Capie just taken down, and there were reports of Cleveland fans like mobbing the streets and burning LeBron James jerseys. I mean, it became it became quite ridiculous.
I've got one for you after into the hydration break. I've got something for you.
Here's a lifted ball up the left-hand side. Angulo trying to chase it down for Ecuador. He cannot. It's over the end line, and it'll be a goal kick as we approach the hour mark of this match with Mexico 2-0 ahead of Ecuador. Sent long by Rangel. Headed on by Montez. Quinones couldn't get on the end of it. Ecuador clear out of danger, and it's out of play on the near side. Mexico on the throw. Vasquez puts it all the way back to Rangel. And now another ball hoisted up the left-hand side, and we've got a foul going against Mexico. Trying to run that ball down. By the way, did we mention the Mexico substitution of Brian Gutierrez coming on for Mora? Did we?
I just flashed the graphic up, but you can have the graphic again.
Oh, okay, very good. I don't know. I didn't know if we mentioned that through the
And then we can
storytelling.
have that graphic as well.
Through the storytelling
Okay.
of the decision. Thank you, JT. Kevin Rodriguez, who plays professionally in Belgium, scored 10 goals in the Belgian Pro League last season. He was the one that replaced.
I've just been there.
You have. Here's a ball placed towards the inside by Yeboah, and it came to the yellow shirt of Medina, who then got tripped down. Rodriguez recovers. Top left corner of the penalty area. Oh, a good move here, and the ball is centered towards the top of the 6-yard box, and it's defended away by Mexico. That was well worked by Ecuador, and it was Angulo with a great move. Sat down Alvarado, and his right-footed cross was just behind Rodriguez. Ecuador on the throw. On this right-hand side, Preciado has it. Halftime substitute, squares it back. Yeboah serves it in. It's harpooned. Out of play on the near side. Ecuador with a throw. Preciado will throw it in just as soon as the Slovenian referee has a word with somebody. Preciado throws it to the right of the center circle. And still the referee talking with Jesus Gallardo. Going to make Ecuador take this throw again, which they do. Back to Pacho. And Ecuador restarting here. And they are starting to run out of time. We're inside the last half hour plus stoppage time of this match. They trail 2-0. Here's Angulo up the left touchline, just trotting forward a bit before he sends it back towards the middle. Vite serves a ball in. It's chested down at the head of the D, and then it's turned out wide on the right, and Caicedo's cross is blocked by Quinones. It cannot be run down by Gallardo before it splinters over the end line. This will be a corner for Ecuador. Perhaps they can make something happen on this set piece then. Haven't had the best of deliveries on set pieces tonight, though, Ecuador. And they've taken Caicedo off of delivering free kicks and corners because of it. And now it's Pedro Vite who is going to deliver this in, left-footed, top of the 6-yard box, easily headed away by the Mexican defense. Comes all the way out 50 yards from goal, where it's played up the right-hand side, and then return for Preciado. He'll flare a ball diagonally from right to left. Can it be run down by Angulo? The answer is no. It's out, and it'll belong to Mexico. Tomorrow on USN, more World Cup action as it continues. Hand over fist. We'll have Belgium and Senegal at 4 p.m. Eastern Time as Mexico restart play, and they get forward here, and boy, do they have bodies flowing forward from the right of the penalty area. Ball cut back looking for Quinones. It's intercepted by Hincapié, who does extremely well. That could have easily been 3-0 Mexico there. Whoa, baby. That could have been a disaster for Ecuador as Mexico got forward extremely quickly. As I was saying, Belgium and Senegal, 4 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. That's from Seattle. And then tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time from Northern California, it's the United States against Bosnia and Herzegovina from Santa Clara, California, as Ecuador have given away possession in the back once again. Can't wait for both of those games on the channel tomorrow. The U.S. on a long drought since they've won a knockout round game, not quite as long as Mexico's 40 years we talked about. But it has been a while for the United States. 2002, the last time they won a knockout game. In fact, interestingly enough, that was in the round of 16 against Mexico. 2-0. Preciado sends the ball ahead. Jesus Gallardo intercepts. Eric Lira connects it forward, gets it back on a return from Brian Gutierrez. And here comes Mexico with the ball. Nearly giving it up on the halfway line. Gallardo had it stripped by Preciado. Now forward it comes for Mexico to Quinones. Into the penalty area from the left. His cross blocked off a body off Pacho. Goes out for a corner. Corner manufactured really out of nothing there for Mexico, and Quinones just crossing it off the right calf of the Ecuadorian. Corner for Mexico as we approach the three-quarter mark of this match. This is just the second corner of the night for Mexico. Ecuador's had 6 for that matter. From the near flag, ball is put down and set to be served in by Roberto Alvarado once he hears the whistle from the Slovenian referee. From the near flag, Alvarado left-footed strike and a free header on goal, and a great save by Galindez. Tremendous save by Galindez, who tips it over the top as Cesar Montes put a header with quite a bit of pace right on target. Strong right hand from Galindez. Another corner for Mexico. Now, once again, from this near flag. In by Alvarado to the back post, and another good-looking header from Montes is just marginally wide. It just missed the post to the left of Galindez. Well, Montes connecting well on 2 headers right in a row. Good deliveries as well, and Montes has just, and I do mean just, pushed it wide. Should lead to the hydration break here as we're in the 68th minute. And indeed it will. We hit our second half hydration break. 3/4 of the way home here at the Azteca. And the 2 first half goals from Julian Quinones and Raul Jimenez holding up so far for the host nation Mexico. They're 2-0 ahead of Ecuador. And a knockout round victory for the first time in 40 years. It's just over 20 minutes away here for the proud nation of Mexico.
Right. I have come to a conclusion that we need an orbit with your camera on, Matthew, so we don't have to keep going back to your game feed when we're doing random stuff like this. So, the decision. You might want your camera on for this, because this is going to be incredible what is about to come out of my mouth. Was it like a I'm a Celebrity style vote off where ESPN had a reporter in each arena of the NBA, all feeding in, and LeBron James was sat in the middle, or stood in the middle, with all of the teams up on a big screen in front of him, and he was going through every single team, going, what team he will be joining next. For example, Orlando Magic. It's not you. Cavaliers. It might be you. And he just went through all of that. Or was it like a Eurovision jury vote where all of the arenas and ESPN reporters that came in gave LeBron James points, and whoever gave the most points combined, that is what team he joined. I come up with some random, some random at times, I know.
Oh.
Thank you to all the viewers that left after I went on that. Well, we've got more subs warming up. I shall not prep any graphics.
I love all of this talk that's been brought up on social media about how if the United States were to make the final, Fox predicts ratings of over 50 million.
Oh, really? I've also heard that NASA administrator has said that if the USA win the World Cup, they will send the FIFA World Cup soccer ball to the moon.
Oh. Okay. That feels like a waste of a lot of money just to put a soccer ball on the moon.
It'll probably go with one of the Artemis missions, though.
Play restarts out of the hydration break. Ecuador send a long ball up the middle and trying to fight his way to it as Angulo he's fought his way through the grabbing of his waist by Jorge Sanchez. Drops it back off, and now Ecuador into the final third here. Can they get something going? They've just been missing that final bit of touch to get back in this game. Again, a team that only scored 2 goals in their 3 group games, and they both came in the final group game against Germany, which they had to win to advance. They were level in that game late and scored to advance to the knockout round for the first time in 20 years. Here's Yaboa, left to the penalty area, curls away from Jorge Sanchez. Drops it back off outside the penalty area for Vite. Out wide on the left-hand side. Ball sent in. Oh, it was a useful-looking cross. Well defended by Vasquez. Up and away by Alvarado. It'll be a corner for Ecuador here. It's really good defending by Vasquez. Mexico still have not given up a goal in this World Cup. Now through just over 340 minutes. Winner plays either England or Congo DR. Is off the corner. It's sent in short left to the penalty area and flexed into the back post. And again, it's just over the head of the target. This time, Gonzalo Plata. The deliveries have not been great tonight for Ecuador, and there's an injured Mexico player down. That was Montez. Basically got smushed into the post as he was trying to tail Plata. Meanwhile, double substitution for Mexico. Luis Romo and Raul Jimenez are coming off. And they will be replaced by Santiago Jimenez and Obed Vargas.
Very, very close to a dodgy graphic incoming.
God. Well, indeed. As I cross out.
Moving on.
As I cross out the number 7 and 11 on my board. Cross out 7-11. No trips to 7-11 tonight.
That's a better number combination.
Oh, long ball sent forward, and Gutierrez tried to scramble it forward desperately for Quinones. It didn't make it to him. Scooped up by Galindez. Sent long. Mexico control it. And now sit back for Galindez again. Yes, that's numbers being marked off of my board here. 7 and 11, along with 19.
Bingo.
Yes, indeed. B7. Here's a long ball flared up the middle, and Ecuador on the attack here, and a ball punched towards goal. It's just wide. Oh, would you believe it? Kevin Rodriguez with a sensational opportunity as he was just able to chest it down and get it to his left foot, as he was able to split through Jorge Sanchez and Cesar Montes, and he just could not get it on goal. A wonderful job of bringing that ball down and getting his right foot on it to poke it towards goal. Rangel was off his line, could not parry it away, and it just trickled wide.
If Ecuador lose this game, they're going to go back to that.
Well, remember they had a shot earlier, too, that hit the outside of the post, and I'm fairly sure that was still 0-0 at that point when that shot hit off the outside of the post from Yeboah. It was either 0-0 or 1-0. So they've had that off the woodwork, and now this from Kevin Rodriguez, the substitute, who has just done a magnificent job finessing that ball down, then taking it out of the air on a half volley with the outside of his right boot. Oh my goodness, and it's gone just agonizingly wide. Now, as he was racing towards the ball, as I said, Rangel came off his line, and he clattered into the Mexican goalkeeper. Raul Rangel, 26-year-old from Guadalajara. But he is back up to his feet, is the goalkeeper. Plays at Guadalajara by way of Zapopan El Grande. Wow, what a remarkable opportunity that was for Ecuador to get back into the game and put scoreboard pressure on Mexico, who are coming up forward up the left-hand side. And it's been taken away. The ball was not cleared all that well, but finally it is. By the way, you talk about a dodgy graphic. I've crossed out the wrong Jimenez on my board, JT. I've crossed out Raul Jimenez, or crossed out Santiago Jimenez rather than Raul. Oh my goodness. Ecuador are offside on a long ball sent up the right-hand side. So, yeah, Santiago Jimenez, the number 11, is on. Raul Jimenez is not, so I've had to circle the crossed-out number.
That's what we're told to do in our exams. If you cross out an answer, but you actually want to reinstate that answer, you put a circle around it.
Yeah, that's what I've had to do there. Mexico on the ball. Far right channel, Brian Gutierrez.
So stuff does travel across continents.
Yeah, it does. Some of it is. Mexico has sent the ball back to their goalkeeper, Rangel. We have had just a ridiculous start to the knockout round of this World Cup.
There is some normality in the United States of America.
Really, the start of the knockout round of this World Cup has been absolutely mental when you think about how it started through its first, 4 games. Canada late winner against South Africa. Brazil late winner against Japan. Paraguay, the upset of Germany on penalties. Morocco, the upset of Netherlands last night on penalties. Then earlier today, Erling Haaland scoring the late winner to put Norway over the top of Cote d'Ivoire. That was just above the 90th minute. When below the 90th minute is where you had the winners from
Absolute
Canada.
cinema.
And Brazil, yeah, it has been cinema. Then France. France took all the sting and emotion out of the game earlier today against Sweden. Kylian Mbappe scored twice, as inevitable as he is. And Bradley Barcola also scored one for France to go beat Sweden by 3. Will we have another grandstand finish to a knockout game tonight? If we are, Ecuador is going to have to score one pretty quickly here to get back in the game and have a chance late. 2 more substitutions for Ecuador. Yeboah, who's created those great chances tonight, he comes out. Jordi Caicedo is who replaces him, plays professionally in Argentina on loan from Atlas to play at Huracan. And also Angulo comes off to be replaced by Kendry Pais. Free kick for Mexico at the halfway line, far side. Kendry Pais, who also plays in Argentina at River Plate, did so last year on loan from Chelsea. Double substitution coming for Mexico, and Julian Quinones comes off, so both of the goal scorers tonight are now off the field from Quinones, who now has 3 goals in this World Cup. He comes out to be replaced by Orbelin Pineda, 30-year-old that plays in Greece. And also, as you see, it's Roberto Alvarado coming off for Israel Reyes.
Right, so just to confirm, Matthew, you want to cross out the 9 and 20 on Ecuador's side and the 25 and 16 on Mexico's side.
Well,
okay, thank you.
Indeed. Thank you very much, JT. Mexico ball, Gallardo up the near side. Tried to deliver a ball, strike it up the near side. It gets parried out of bounds. Mexico will have another throw where it's hoisted in by Gallardo. It goes off of a couple of bodies, deflects back into the middle of the field. Vargas is on it, sprints to his right, away from Vite. Mexico are very happy to play keep away for the next 10 minutes plus stoppage time. They haven't done it too well there, though, because Plata has taken it back for Ecuador, and he's been fouled. Free kick coming here for the South Americans. That, by the way, has extinguished all substitutions for both teams. Each team has made their 5 subs. Ecuador ball in the attacking half past the 80th minute. They need 1 within the next, you'd say, 5 minutes to feel like they have enough time to apply pressure over what would then be the next 5 plus stoppage time to go for an equalizer. Plata, left of the penalty area, hits the brakes to get away from Sanchez. Twirled it on back for Vite. Vite will knock it back this direction. Caicedo holds, filters it back left. There's been too much of this from Ecuador tonight. Once they get into the final third, it's just too many lateral passes, none with a lot of intent. Left of the penalty area, and Capier tried to cross. That's blocked. It's out of play off of Jorge Sanchez. It's a corner. Corner's taken quickly and short. And from the left of the box, ball is lifted in. Good shape to this. Montez is there again with another defensive header. He's been terrific in the air tonight. Caicedo to hoist it back in. Caught by an airborne Raul Rangel. The target was Jordi Caicedo.
Which, by the way, early predictions is for 4 to 5 minutes, Matthew.
Very good. Here's Mexico on the ball. Up and away by Gallardo, beyond his target, Jimenez, all the way back to Galindez. Ecuador can ill afford to waste time here as we come towards the end of the 82nd minute. Arsenal's Piero and Capier has the ball, feeds it right, gets it back from Caicedo, and now here comes Ecuador on the march with Pais. Kendry Pais cuts from right to left. Pineda defends. Back to Caicedo this direction, into the circle. Another lateral pass that. Vite out to the left. Capier lifts it up the left-hand side. Could it be run down? Well, it is from the left of the area, and the cross is sent in. It was in the direction of Caicedo again, and a foul's called on Ecuador. Ecuador foul is Jordi Caicedo was the target, but you've got a Mexico player down as Caicedo was basically climbing onto the shoulders of Johan Vazquez. My goodness.
I believe I can fly.
Yeah, at that point, Caicedo was nearly 10 feet off the ground.
Matthew?
Yes?
Are you aware that Arca West had its first ever NASCAR Oddities entrance last weekend?
No, I did not know that.
Due to the massive power outage with 4 laps to go, and the race finished under green without live timing or TV pictures or anything.
Well, that wasn't controversial, I'm sure. Long by Rangel, ball drifted in the air to the left. It's out off a Mexican head. Preciado looking for a quick throw. He does throw it in. It's headed down by Jesus Gallardo. Ecuador's come away with it, though. Vite broke nicely for him, and he's able to fling it up the left-hand side, and Capier's making a run. He lifts the ball up the middle. Vasquez, the defensive header, up and away. Drops top left corner of the box. Mexico trying to clear even further. It looked like it went off the arm of Santiago Jimenez. There was no handball called. That was outside the area anyway, and then he got tripped. Helicoptered down by Vite's challenge. It's a foul on Vite in Ecuador.
Of course, the only other ARCA series is the main ARCA series itself from the 1999 Daytona International Speedway race, where Joe Cooksey crashed into the pace car.
Pace car. Yes. Oh my God.
There's one here which has caught my attention from 1956. Tulsa Fairgrounds in the Cup Series race. Lee Petty commandeered the flag stand, threw the red flag due to the dust, ending the race, leading to its abandonment.
Okay. Here's Ecuador on the ball, top of the circle. Caicedo delivers a ball up the middle, defensive header away, out to Caicedo, who's had a hit, and he scuffed it wide to the right of the goal that is defended by Rangel. It's just not been a good night for Moises Caicedo. Has not had good set-piece deliveries. And that shot there, off target, not well struck. Mentioned that if Ecuador were going to have a chance here, they needed a goal by the 85th minute. Well, that's come and gone. Long by Rangel. Halfway line near side, grab by Vargas. Dropped back and popped out of play. It'll be an Ecuador throw. That match momentum graphic comes up again, and Ecuador's had the majority of it in this half, according to whoever comes up with this. Here's Mexico. Oh, nearly a turnover in a dangerous area by Israel Reyes, but he got a hold of it and then yanked it forward. Santiago Jimenez drifting out to his right, and Capier defends, and he was able to force it away. Ecuador back in control of it with Preciado. Angelo Preciado up the right-hand side from the halfway line. He'll lift the ball forward. That's easily to Rangel, who had it go through his fingers and towards goal, but wide of it, and then he falls on top of it before a pressing Kevin Rodriguez could make that more interesting than it should have been. To reach out and snag it. Rangel will punt it long from our right to our left. It's high in the air. Will it ever come down? It finally has. Near flank. Headed forward by Pacho. Possessed by Preciado. Taken by Vite. Rolled out to his left. Ecuador on the pilgrimage back upfield from our left to our right, and their bright yellow shirts, their dark blue numbers, their dark blue pants, red blending to dark blue stripe vertically down each side of their shirt. Navy blue shorts, yellow socks. Ball is nudged up the left-hand side. Desperate for a goal, to then desperately plea for another. Here's a deep cross in from left to right in the direction of Pais, headed out by the corner flag by Gallardo. It won't be a corner, it'll be a throw. Kendry Pais will give it for Preciado to throw in. The Mexican crowd jumping, hollering, celebrating. They're moments away from a knockout round win that it's been well over a generation has seen from this national team. Preciado's long throw, looking for a flick on. Comes to the left side of the penalty area, and Capier centered ball, deflected back to him. Then Vite tried to return it for Preciado. Instead, it's intercepted by Jorge Sanchez. Grabbed back by Preciado. Halfway through the 88th minute. Handled by Pais, sent up the middle edge of the D, slid to the right side of the penalty area. Rodriguez couldn't handle, cleared as far as Pais. Pais with his left foot scoops it in. It's flicked on a header that goes wide from Yaimar Medina, wide to Rangel's right. It will be a goal kick as we enter the penultimate minute of the 90. Down the stretch we go at the Azteca. Long ball sent up the middle by Rangel. Keeper to keeper this. Galindez out of the area to meet it. Rolls it forward. In Capier. Needs to get a quick pass off, he does. Far left channel. Hincapié again, into the box, across from left to the area. Defensive header away by Vasquez. Drops right side of the box. Preciado's delivery was near Rodriguez, who may have just mistimed his leap. Ball leaks out far touchline. Hincapié is there. Jorge Sanchez defends. Hincapié tries to roll it by him towards a target that's not there. Cleared out by Brian Gutierrez. It's a throw for Ecuador. They still trail 2-0 towards the end of the 89th minute. The ball thrown in, an extra ball on the pitch, quickly disposed of. Medina, ball in, nudged on, Hincapié into the penalty spot, twisting and turning but not getting a shot off Jordi Caicedo, and Mexico clear, and Mexico are running back the other way, and they've got a bunch of space. It's Santiago Jimenez, help arriving to his left, he nudged it on, top of the box, Orbelín Pineda goes down, through a challenge from Moises Caicedo. The ball spit out up the near side, there were appeals for a penalty for Mexico, none given. Preciado yanks it upfield, it's wide of the touchline on the near side, it goes out. It'll be a Mexico throw. We're in the 90th. Mexico are nearly home. They did want a penalty off that Caicedo challenge, but definitely got a piece of the ball. Not a lot of contact between he and Orbelín Pineda. Ecuador, of course, pressing so much now. Mexico do get the ball like they just did. They'll have acres of space to try to counter. You see the clock top right of your screen, just about to strike 90. It does now, and the added time will be 7. Throw in coming from Jesus Gallardo. He'll take his time. He tosses into the halfway line. It's finesse back to him, and now high into the sky. Gallardo takes the elevator ride, sending it up. It comes down to a yellow shirt of Ecuador. They need one just to find a way to scrap for an equalizer. Caicedo's ball in, beyond anyone in yellow. Easily finessed back by Gallardo into the waiting arms of Rangel to wrap it. It's been 40 years. 40 years since Mexico won a knockout round game in the FIFA World Cup. Really hard to believe that. They're in the knockout round so often as trotting up the left-hand side. Pineda's had it knocked away. It's out of play for what'll be a Mexico throw. They're in the knockout round so often. 4 years ago in the last World Cup, they failed to make the knockout round. It was the first time that they had been eliminated in the group in their history. But they haven't won a knockout round game since defeating Bulgaria 40 years ago. Ecuador ripped possession away off the throw, but then they've turned it over to Vargas. Left of the penalty area, Jimenez squares it. Lira into the box from the left, gives it up for a curled shot that's just missed. Over the top left corner of the goal by Pineda. Top right corner, I beg your pardon. He's curled it. Oh my goodness. Very nearly put it right into that top right corner. Meanwhile, Ecuador forward quickly. Caicedo with another long ball. It deflected to the top of the box. Jordi Caicedo tried to turn with it. Couldn't. Had to play it back. Moises Caicedo flared out to his right. Kendry Pais further out wide on the right-hand side. Loading up his Preciado for a cross. It's blocked. Ricochets back out towards the middle of the field. Orbelín Pineda gets to it before Pais does, and then Pais commits a foul. Probably be a yellow card on Kendry. 2.5 of the 7 minutes added on have been played. There is the yellow card. That goes to Kendry Pais. Vasquez having a discussion with the Slovenian referee, and I think the reason you're going to have a free kick for Mexico. Whoa. Hincapié was head-to-head with Santiago Jimenez. I mean, he was putting his head to the side of Jimenez's head. There's a discussion being had. And now Santiago Jimenez is over at the... Oh, hold on a minute. Santiago Jimenez has just put his hand over his mouth. I think he is saying to the referee that someone for Ecuador has put his hand over his mouth when saying something. If that's the case, there'll be a VAR. Oh, yeah, that's so obvious from Piero Hincapié. That's going to be a VAR check, and it'll be a quick one. It'll be a red card to Piero Hincapié, who has made a mental mistake there. There's going to be a VAR check, and it will be very straightforward here for the Slovenian referee. Piero Hincapié of Arsenal put his hand over his mouth and said something to a Mexico player. That's an immediate red card these days. And I mean, it's not... There's no gray area here. It's quite black and white. He covered his mouth. Yeah, he covered his mouth and then spoke something right into the ear of Santiago Jimenez. The referee's already come out. It'll be super simple. This will be a red card to Hincapié, and it will rub salt into the Ecuadorian wound. There's the red card. Hincapié will walk. And he smiles a bit as he gets chirped at by some Mexican players. Oh, and nearly 100,000 Mexican supporters that surround the man in the arena. Hincapié goes off. That's the way his World Cup ends. And that's...
The question is, Matthew,
Mm-hmm.
do you have the hash marks from the previous games?
I probably do, but this game's almost over. Yeah, this is a great rule. This is a great rule that FIFA has brought in. It's been brought in very recently. We saw it earlier in this tournament in the game between Paraguay and Turkey, as Mexico take the free kick long, thrust it up the middle, headed away by Ecuador. Ball is up in the air. It's going to go out of play to the left of Galindez. All of this is from what happened just a few months ago in a Champions League match between Real Madrid and Benfica, where Benfica's Gianluca Prestiani covered his mouth as he was saying something to Vinicius Jr., and it's such a great rule because, again, it's easy to assume that if you're saying something like that directly to a player and you're covering your mouth, the reason you're covering your mouth is you're saying something untoward. You're saying something that you don't want anyone knowing that you're saying. So normally you don't want to assume anything, but it's very safe to assume that if you're doing that, you're saying something that you shouldn't, and that should be red carded. We've had a foul on Ecuador here. Vite took down Jimenez. And I mean, it's as simple as it can get as well. There we go, JT. It's as simple as it gets. Just first off, don't say anything stupid. And don't say anything with your mouth, covering your mouth. It's moronic. Long ball sent forward by Ecuador. Another defensive header away by Cesar Montes. What a game he has had. He's won so many aerial duels, Montes has tonight. And he's put two headers very close to scoring a goal in this second half for Mexico. One was tremendously saved by Galindez. Rangel sends it long. We're over the 7 added minutes here. Of course, there'll be added time because of the VAR check, but really no real reason for time to continue on much longer. This game is over. Medina quickly flings the ball out of play, just trying to clear it. It'll be a throw for Mexico. They're waiting to explode with emotion here at the Azteca. Ecuador back with the ball. Flared forward and deep. Montes, the header, comes back into the Ecuadorian half. It'll go out of play. It'll be an Ecuador throw, but this game is just about over. Thrown in to Galindez. Galindez will snap it long up the right-hand side. The defensive header away by Jesus Gallardo. And a yellow card is going to be given to someone in yellow right at the end here, As the game continues on into a 99th minute, it's Moises Caicedo that has been shown a yellow card. Free kick for Mexico to be taken by Rangel. And surely the referee will blow for full time just as Rangel kicks this ball. He does up the near touchline. Pineda headed it to keep it in play. Moises Caicedo delivers it to the halfway line. Vazquez scoops it back into the Ecuadorian half. Trotting away with it up the left-hand side is Obed Vargas. And Vargas will be the last to touch it. The full-time whistle blows and the Azteca roars to life one more time. Mexico, a generational Mexican victory. They win their first knockout game in 40 years. And they're on to the round of the last 16 to play either England or Congo. It's Mexico magic at the Azteca. A tremendous performance, particularly in the first half, where it was their main men connecting again. The first goal by Quinones, the second by Jimenez, gave them a lead that they never gave up. They have still yet to concede a goal in this World Cup, as they've outscored their opponents now 8-0. 8-0. Ecuador crumble to tears in defeat. Their first knockout round game in 20 years for Ecuador. Mexico's first knockout win in 40. There you see the updated bracket, officially putting Mexico through to the last 16. And my goodness, will it be a real fight for either England or Congo to beat this Mexican team, who now have won 4 from 4 in this World Cup and have not allowed a goal to get behind Raul Rangel in any of the 4 games. It's now a 15-match unbeaten streak for Mexico. And as we said, first knockout round win in 40 years, but it is the round of 32, which of course has never happened in a World Cup prior to this year. The round of 16 is where they have historically had their World Cups come to a premature end. Is it different for this Mexican team? A lot of people are starting to lean towards yes. This looks like a well put together squad that has real explosiveness up front, great compact defense in the back, and a goaltender in Rangel that has taken the torch handed to him by the legendary Guillermo Ochoa. So Mexico are through, the 7th team to book their ticket to the last 16, and again they'll play either England or Congo, that coming up tomorrow at high noon Eastern time in Atlanta. But again, it is Mexico 2-0 over Ecuador tonight. Tomorrow we hope to bring you England and Congo from Atlanta, noon Eastern time, winner to play this Mexico squad. We'll follow that up at 4 p.m. Eastern time in Seattle. Europe versus Africa, Belgium versus Senegal. Matt White returns to the airwaves. So excited to have him back. And then the United States, one of the other, the third of the co-hosts that have made the knockout round. They haven't won a knockout round game in 24 years. They take on Bosnia and Herzegovina, who will play in their first knockout round game ever. That's tomorrow night from Santa Clara, California, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have it for you then. As action begins on Thursday, Spain and Austria, an all-European matchup at 3 p.m. Eastern time. That'll be a Very interesting game. Spain, of course, the heavy, heavy favorites there. That'll be in Los Angeles Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We very well could have Portugal and Croatia for you as well. That's not confirmed yet. Could have Portugal and Croatia for you Thursday night. Didn't have a graphic because it's not confirmed yet. Friday, Argentina and Cape Verde from Miami at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. What a magnificent contrast that is between the world champions Argentina with Messi and their stars against the Cinderellas Cape Verde. That's followed at 9:30 by Colombia taking on Ghana. Yet another South America versus Africa battle. The round of the last 16 begins Saturday. We hope you'll spend your 4th of July with us. 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Paraguay and France at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That matchup now confirmed through France's victory earlier today. Then Sunday, another round of 16 game. Brazil and Norway. And then, of course, that'll be followed by NASCAR's return to the Chicagoland Speedway. Their first race there in 7 years. Will bring you live flag-to-flag coverage of the Aero 400. All of that, and as I said, maybe a bit more. Still waiting to confirm if Portugal and Croatia will be on the channel, and also the early game Saturday, Canada and Morocco. Still looking to confirm if we'll have that covered for you as well. But there you see it from the Azteca tonight. Mexico 2 and Ecuador 0 is how it finishes. You see 2 goals in the first half, separated by less than 10 minutes from Quinones and Jimenez. JT provided analysis for the match yesterday, and now that he's done that once, I'm going to keep going to that wishing well. JT, what'd you think about this Mexico-Ecuador game tonight?
First of all, I would like to point out that the sun has fully risen and has been fully risen for around 45 minutes now over here. All I'm going to say is that if England get through, they need to look out for Mexico.
Absolutely.
Definitely they need to look out for Mexico. This is going to be whoever goes through today, because it's past midnight, so it is today. Technically today, but still tomorrow, because we haven't slept yet. Anyway, 12 p.m. Eastern, however you look at it. The next time the clock hits 12 p.m. Eastern. Whoever goes through that, they need to really look out for Mexico, because they are a powerhouse in this World Cup, and they're being helped by their home fans.
Yeah, that's absolutely
massively.
right.
I'm gonna leave you with this, Matthew. A NASCAR oddities chart entry from 1956. Once again, but from Raleigh Speedway in the Cup Series. NASCAR officials weighed Fireball Roberts' flywheel at local fish market because they didn't have the proper scale.
Of course.
There are a lot of interesting ones here, but I don't want to get us cancelled.
By the way,
I will tell you quickly when we go off there.
By the way, to the point that you made, England obviously the heavy favorites against Congo tomorrow. If indeed, well, no matter who wins the game, they will have to play this Mexican team.
To look out, yeah.
They will play this Mexico team here at the Azteca. So not only do you play the Mexico team that's looked so good, but you also play them at the Azteca with all of their crowd behind them. So it will be a difficult challenge for either England or Congo, whoever wins that game, in about 12 hours from
Mexico against the world.
Tomorrow also our Wimbledon coverage continues on JB Sports starting 6 a.m. Is it? 6 a.m. Eastern does it start?
Yes.
Okay.
Should be.
And then, of course, as always, well, I say as always, this is the first time doing it on this platform, but as always in our past, on past platforms, we have our Match of the Day coverage, and we will have your Match of the Day when JB chooses what the match he'll call is, which I have a feeling will be Novak Djokovic and Stefanos Tsitsipas. You would expect it to be.
Are we into the second round already?
Yeah, yep. They keep it nice and tight, the schedule at Wimbledon. They don't let any first round games go to Wednesday if weather doesn't interfere. So, Djokovic and Tsitsipas.
Which it did tonight because we had 2 or 3 games suspended due to light.
Yeah. So Djokovic and Tsitsipas is the headliner tomorrow. That's the third match on center court. So if that's the one that JB chooses to do, that'll be our match of the day on the channel. And if it's not, we'll cover whichever one he chooses to cover because you do have a tasty women's match, the middle match on center court. Former Wimbledon champion Barbara Krejcikova taking on the French Open champion from just a handful of weeks ago, Mira Andreeva. So,
are we gonna have another tally for that game if he calls it, Matthew?
Who knows? So that will do it for us tonight from the Azteca. Mexico 2-0 victory over Ecuador. They go to the last 16. For everyone here, for JT, Matthew Owens signing off, the incomparable JT as it were. And Matthew Owens signing off. Mexico are through. We will see you tomorrow for another full day of World Cup action.